So welcome along to the channel. I thought I'd just do a off-the-cuff video about the 0.4 update to Assetto Corsa EVO. I'm going to just try and do it from start to finish like this with no editing, so there will be some rambling, there will likely be some terrible OBS recording and some terrible audio too. But I've been very fortunate over the years to have driven quite a few cars, different types of cars on different types of tyres around quite a few tracks now across Europe. And so I thought I would have a closer look at version 0.4 and do this video. If you find it and you enjoy it, great. And we can get started. I have to say at the outset as well that I've never been an Assetto Corsa, the original, a fan really of the original Assetto Corsa, big fan of ACC. But I thought they've made such a lot of changes, it was worth having a look at this. So I think what I'll try and do is just to have a quick scoot through the car list and find a couple of cars that I've either driven in real life or are close to ones that I've driven in real life or are kind of similar types to the ones that I've driven. And this one is Porsche stands out here. What have we got? So we've got a 964, okay, a turbo. So I have been lucky enough to drive quite a few 964s over the years. Okay, so the UI I think is shit. Let's try another way. Okay, there we go. So I've got the 911 in there then, and I'm just going to choose Brands Hatch, Alton Park. Oh, I've only got 8 tracks then. Oh no, sorry. Okay, 8 tracks in Europe at the moment then. We'll come back to Spa. Spa is my local track, so I've also driven at Brands Hatch. So let's. I've driven the Indy quite a few times, so let's just do something very simple. We might flick to the GP circuit in a minute because that's much more interesting, but let's just do just a first test in the first car. Right, so 964. So first impressions, steering feels incredibly light. The 964s, the older 964s are just whatever one you drive, they're just complete brutes. You really have to, really hard to drive physically. So let's see. The audio is, it's not great, is it, inside the cars? Turn down feedback on my wheel a bit. So first impressions, well, doesn't feel great. I think one thing they have improved though is you can really feel the weight of the car. Oi! Nearly broke my thumb in a direct drive. So I'll turn the feedback a little bit on this car. I've got the feedback set to 100% in game. I've just reduced it to 80 on the wheel. Okay. Well, we didn't write off a 300 euro car. I don't know. Doesn't feel very engaging, this one, to be honest. I think the weight in the wheel is quite good, but there's not a lot of communication from the front tyres. The way the weight's shifting around, you can see that's not bad. do tend to understeer a lot, the 911s, if you... Anyway, okay, so first car, have to say, not going to spend a lot of time in that one. So what else have we got? All vehicles. Yeah, I'm not sure where to go next. Got the Toyota. All right, I've driven one of those in real life, not on a track, but I have driven one. So let's give this one a go. So this will be interesting to see what everyone's been talking about, the road tyres and the fact that, you know, the original Assetto Corsa was pretty good at the road tyre side of things. So let's give this one a go. This car, if ever you get to drive one, there's always a bit of a mystery to me because it's actually pretty slow. I've driven one a couple of times and they're just not fast enough. I don't know what. I mean, obviously they sold pretty well, but okay, we've got a bit of ABS feel there, which is good. That would be fantastic if we got some ABS feedback. That's a big part of driving cars on a track when they've got ABS. You know, you really feel it. So that's pretty positive just out of the box like that. Yeah, I mean the weight is there, and I think we've done a better job of conveying the weight and the grip. I actually think it just like, you know, initial impressions like this, it feels better than the original Assetto Corsa to me. Definitely instinctive with the way the weight's moving around. That's pretty good, but there's not a lot of detail through the front tyres. Got traction control on as well. Yeah, but the feel of the rear of the car, you can see I'm just instinctively having to catch it. That's going to be too fast through there. Yeah, so it's the way the weight is moving around is actually really pretty good. What I'm missing is some detail on the front tyres. It's just like a kind of smooth. There's no jaggedness or road feel really through the front tyres. I did put a bit of road feel in. Maybe we'll stop it in a second and a bit more, but it kind of got a bit artificial for me. But the weight and the way that moves around is actually pretty impressive. But you just can't feel the detail of the grip at the moment. That might be just my settings. It's just like a bland kind of table. Let's go into the settings and see. Controls, settings. I've got the road effects up quite a lot. I don't like kind of adding all these effects on top. Let's bring the tyre slip up a bit. I'm not going to spend long in each car, but just to get a feel of it. Let's see if that makes any difference. Steering feels, compared to the Porsche, very heavy. There's just no detail to the feedback. I'm going to turn it down again on my wheel. Sorry, I was doing that at the same time. Turn down the feedback a bit on the wheel. See if that makes any difference. Yeah, it's a bit like driving a blancmange. You know, you do feel a lot of things through the tyres. That's a bit better now. I've dropped the feedback a bit. Yeah, that car's not bad. Bit of ABS feel. Weight's moving around. Braking distances seem to be quite accurate, you know, kind of realistic or believable at least. Yeah, certainly the back end is pretty intuitive. Okay, you wouldn't be shifting there in real life, but it's just trying to be a bit of a dick. Yeah, not bad. Not bad actually. You can have a bit of fun in that. Such a weird circuit, the Cindy circuit. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Just missing just detail through the wheel really of the actual kind of contact patches. Let's try a different one. We'll go on to the Grand Prix circuit as well. It's a bit more interesting, isn't it? How do I do that? Brands Hatch, GP. Right, what else have we got? Toyotas, Mazdas, Caterham. Let's try the Caterham. Caterham I have driven on tracks. Have I selected it? No. UI still shit. Right. Let's try this. Now you would have hoped that, you know, having the resources to make a game or a sim like this, that you would have access. I'm going to put the strength back up again on the wheel for this one. Already just so much more detail coming through the wheel, which you'd expect because of the suspension on this. Let's see what this car's like. It was a terrible... do the tyre temperatures actually increase? Oh yeah, they're going up. Let's see... Hey! Okay. Probably because I'm not using a clutch. Probably have to blip the throttle a bit, change it down. Audio's terrible, isn't it? It's totally unengaging. Oi! Front wheel's locked up there. I have no idea how to change the brake bias. 68.6 looks very high to me. The front wheels just want to lock up. Yeah, blip the throttle there. That's better. Big stutter there. Yeah, you need to blip it. So what are the tyres doing? 44, 47. The tyre temps are coming up then. This feels really good. I'm trying to keep it on the track. Tyre fit of this one actually, I imagine this has got road tyres on. It's really, really good feel through the tyres. You can really, in this car, you've really got the detail of what the grip levels are doing. Oh, that's very Caterham. That was really well done. Get the power on hard in these things, they'll just kick the back and then snap back at you. And I'm driving like a complete idiot, but just to have a look and a feel. It's just a lot of detail through the wheel. Yeah. This is really quite handy. Probably want a bit more travel over the curbs. But you can really, it's very instinctive the way the weight's moving, and you can really feel the back end of the car. I've got a lot of detail coming through the wheel. Okay. Have I got damage on? Hope I've got damage off. Oh, got the wheel crossed up. Oh yeah, there's definitely damage, I think. So yeah, this is really quite good. Apart from the brake price, which I should be adjusting. But that kind of behaviour of the rear like that, you just, you know, they're just sliding all the time. See, yeah, just on that turn in, how the rear goes around, that's exactly what they do. Yeah, very good. Quite surprised, actually. I'll just take these two fast ones on the back and then I'll change cars again. Braking distances feel very short. Oi! She was nearly gone up. Oh, on the grass. Yeah, very good. That is surprisingly good. Right, what else can we try? Damn it. Single player, right. All vehicles. Let's try the... Right, I obviously have never driven a GT3 Cup 992, but I have driven a lot of Porsches, so we'll just leave it on the GP. Let's let's see what this is like. This will be interesting. I'm assuming this is on big fat slicks, is it? Tyres. No idea what the tyres are. Okay, I'm assuming they're slicks. As they would be. Definitely a hint of ACC. Right, let's see what this is like. Cold tyres. It's great they've got some ABS. That's the one big thing that's missing from ACC, is the feel on the brakes, or the lack of feel. This isn't brilliant. You know, you'd really feel the the ABS can kick in and the front tyres losing traction, but at least it's a lot more like LMU now with a bit of ABS feel. Oi! Again, don't look at my driving, I'm trying to... look at gauges and look at them. I was very sensitive on the front. Right, the tyres are coming up now. Bit of ABS feel there. TC on 8. It's rubbish, isn't it? You can definitely feel the contact patch here. Jesus, this is amazing. The way the grip comes on and off is just... it's not a lot of detail when you're getting up to the limit, but just the way it comes when it comes off of the grip is just... oh Jesus. Don't look at my driving. Try and explain what I mean. So there's a good amount of grip and the tyres really load up, and then when you lose the traction, you can really feel that transition between when you've got the grip and when the tyre is starting to lose adherence with the surface. It's not very detailed, it kind of feels like it's saturating a bit, but this is absolutely amazing. It just feels like there's too much damping, or there's not quite enough detail coming through on the contact patch, but you can see by how I'm moving the wheel. Jesus. If this is where this is going, and we're going to get the GT3s in like this. Still missed. Jesus. Get the apex on that one time. And it really does understeer like the Porsches do. Oh, it will do also with 8 on the traction control. Trying to slow down a bit. I am quite blown away by this one. I mean, I've never driven a GT3 Cup car, that's for sure. But I need to be careful about getting too excited. I would go as far to say, okay, I don't know what a real GT3 Cup car feels like. I would go as far to say that just on this very base experience like this, if you could get these same settings as I've got, this is as close as you're going to get to driving a car like this in real life in any of the sims right now. And I'm amazed I'm saying that. The way the weight and the car is moving around, the way the rear is moving around, the way you're having to really drive it. Oh, wheel on the grass. Ugh. This is something else, really. The way that transition comes out in the rear end when you put the power on. It is absolutely awesome, and the way it pushes there. Oh my God. Hui. How you can really, the range of grip, or the window of grip across the tyre, is just amazing. It's probably got a bit too much grip, but you don't often get a massive amount of feel on the slicks. Okay, we're gone. We're gone. Wow. Goodness me. I never thought I'd say that about Assetto Corsa. That is actually... Forget the audio. The audio is appalling. But the feel and the way the weight is coming through the force feedback and the way the grip transitions from full grip, you know, through to slip. That is one of the best cars I've ever driven in a sim. Again, I don't know whether it's realistic compared to an actual cup, but if you could match it up to the right car in real life, it is absolutely amazing. Wow. Let's hope they bring all of them up to this kind of level. Let's see if I can find the apex for once. Oh, there we go. Jesus. Just the way that bump there on that corner, it does exactly that. It just upsets the rear end. Wow. Pretty good, that is. Okay, talking of GT3s. I've got the heart rate up. GT3s, where are the GT3s? Okay, we've got a BMW GT3. I think that's it, isn't it? Honda, Ford, Escort. Alright, let's try this. The EVO. Now, this is obviously quite an important car to drive because all of us are waiting for the fun and games of Assetto Corsa Competizione to be brought across into this. So let's see what this is like. I need to work out how to change the brake bias. I've got nothing mapped. Anyway, that's why my driving's been so bad, because I don't like having the brake bias that far. Oh, the sound is extremely familiar. That's just come straight out of ACC. Feels a bit numb, this. Gonna have to map the TC and the... Okay, I don't think we can do it justice without mapping a couple of buttons quickly to the wheel. Traction control, I saw it. Traction control. Okay. How do I do that on the wheel? Oh, keyboard, mouse, phonetic, wheel. Okay. Traction control, decrease. Traction control, increase. Brake bias, let's hope I can find it quickly. Brakes, clutch. ABS. Brake bias, rear. Brake bias, front. Right, let's go with that. Take off the TC a bit and bring the brake bias back a bit. Feels like it's got a lot of grip for tyres just out of the pits. And again, it's not a lot of feel from the front tyres in this one. So, I'm sure it's got too much grip. I'm going to reduce the force feedback strength again on my wheel. Just keeps... Okay, there we start to feel it. Yeah. Cook that. You can feel it, but it's not like the Cup car was. It feels like the full feedback's just saturated on this. Not got that detail, and I'm turning down the force feedback on the wheel, and it's not helping. It's not making any difference. So there's not the detail like there was in the Porsche Cup car. It's just very bland. And there's no kind of impression of push. The front has just got, I think it's just got too much grip at the front. It's just, there's no sensation of it braking at all. Yeah, not so good unfortunately this one. No real feel. The weight's moving around again, but it's a bit disappointing really, considering we all need the GT3s to be in here. You can't feel, it's just that I'm turning the wheel completely, watch this. Yeah, they haven't got this one nailed, that's for sure. It's just... Let's try a road car again with some road tyres. Disappointed with the GT3 there. For obvious reasons. We need GT3s. We need another GT3 sim. Honda MX-5. I've driven one of those. Maybe we should just try an MX. Oh no, that's a 2000, isn't it? I haven't driven one of those. Audi. I've driven a couple of RSs over the years, RS4s and 5s on the track too. Let's see what this is like. Okay. Good. Do they have a sound department? Did they have a meeting and they said, oh, did they have a meeting and the guy said, look, I've done these great sounds. And they're like, yeah, well done, Bob. It's hideous. Oh, the sounds are better than my driving though. This has got the same, suffers from the same, look, affliction as the GT3 there. Hey. That's not good. Let's take the gain down in game. Let's see what that does. We've got tyre slip effects on top as well, set 30%. Maybe that's saturating things. I've turned it down. The steering sensitivity, the rotation seems to be about right. Oh my god. Yeah, this is not a success, this game. Again, it's just got no, it's like the GT3, there's no, I'm now going to turn the force feedback right down on my wheel. I think you can say that's got understeer. There is some feel there, but it's artificial. I think it's just the slip effects and the road effects that I've got dialed in. Otherwise you've got no feel at all of what the front look. Yeah, that's shockingly bad. Let's move on. Goodness me, they've obviously never driven a RS. This is what I worry about or wonder about sometimes. You just wonder how many of these guys have ever actually been out on track to put that in the sim like that. Anyway, what else have we got? Dallara. I mean, these things I've never driven. Things, you know, this kind of speed. There is an MX-5. Let's try that. Now this actually, the MX or one of the MX-5 mods in the original was pretty impressive if I remember. Let's see what this thing does. Yeah. Jesus. My soundman Bob again has been working his magic. I'm going to put the feedback back up to 100 on this one because I think we probably can. I've only got the damping on 20. I mean, you can probably play with these, but I kind of think that after a while it just starts to saturate if you put too much on. Again, it's art. I think it's the artificial effects that are giving me any feel on the front. It's just like it's like moving a custard across a table. I mean, you don't have a ton of feel in these kind of more basic road cars, it's true, but you know, you still, it's not that. Ooh. I'm going to put the force feedback up to 90 on the wheel now. I mean, you're still doing nearly 100 miles an hour. no sensation of speed or this. You know, this reminds me of like the original Gran Turismos a little bit. In an off-the-cuff way, moving a blancmange across the table is my best metaphor. You know, I mean, we've all seen MX-5, right? The front should be diving. That they haven't got like race suspension. I just don't think there's enough. It feels like we're driving a milk cart. We're still doing 100 miles an hour almost. Yeah, the front is dipping a bit there. Okay, you can drift. Okay, and it does tell you when it's going to go somehow. So I think what we're seeing is that the rear end seems to be very intuitive and actually very well done in terms of the weight and what's happening, but the front's somehow not connected to the road in a lot of the cars we've just driven. It's kind of very weird. The weight and the physics are there, but kind of the behaviour looks realistic and feels realistic, but it's just not. It's not much feel. You know, these little Mazdas are pretty communicative. I just think they need to get more detail. I mean, you know, it's just you can turn. Okay, I think we're seeing a bit of a theme here. I'll do one more, maybe two, and then I'll save you from further torture. What else have we got? Caterings we've done. The Lara, BMW. What other BMWs have we got in here? I've driven a lot of BMWs. M4. The M2. I've never driven one of those. We can try it, I guess. I mean, the M BMWs, right? They feel like they're just that they've got, you know, Venturi's working before you've even moved the car. They just feel so solid. The tyres are cold, sorry, maybe that's being unfair. It's just totally lacking in detail. And like I said, I worry about, I mean, I think in ACC I used to run like, let's put the road effects up, see if that brings anything to the party. No, just makes it even more saturated. I'm really missing like the sensation of speed. I mean, we're doing 200k. There's I don't know. That's another thing that comes out is that it doesn't feel like you're doing the speeds that you are. I mean, this is such a fast car in real life. Again, all the weight transfer and the mass of the car is great, but there's just really lacking detail in the force feedback. Let me take off that. Let me take off the road effects completely. Let's just strip it right back and just make sure we're not saturating stuff. Let's see what this does. No, it's even worse. Jesus. Yeah. So I think we're seeing a theme, which is that the rear of the car and the way that that's brought through is, I think, actually probably the best out there. The front end and the contact patches and the feel through the front is really lacking. You just can't feel anything now. I turned off those other effects. I haven't kind of ranked up, put the feedback right up. We've reduced the feedback in-game and on the wheel. We've reduced the effects to make sure we're not saturating stuff, and it's just no feel for me anyway. I mean, that could be a wheel thing. I'll put the feedback down to 50% on the wheel. Just do a nice little spin. It's just not engaging, right? It's not immersive. People probably understand it, but the sound is so important. That was one thing that ACC did so well. This is just very mediocre. Can't feel a thing. Just driving, watching now, not driving through any feel. The audio inside the car is just terrible. Yeah. Okay, so that's that one. What else can we try? And then we'll call it a day. What I've got here. Lancia, what they got here? Okay, I used to have a Lancia Delta Turbo, not an Integrale, but a mate of mine did. That Delta was a good car. Till the turbo blew up. Right. Oh. Take my driving test. What is this sound? They've got the turbo lag wired. Again, look, I'm just turning the wheel. Okay, so to recap, it definitely has some promise. I think they've really got some things right, like the weight of the grip and the way the loads load up and the way the weight moves around. I just think the front end is pretty poor. This is just going backwards for me. This kind of stuff's worse than AMS2. In some cars in AMS2, that's saying something. Yeah, this car, it basically had, very sporty suspension. It felt like a go-kart. I've driven one of these. And it's just... That's probably enough. The front end needs a lot of work. So If anyone finds the video and watches it and enjoys it, maybe leave a comment and like and subscribe. Who knows, maybe I'll get 1 or 2 subscribers, which will make me feel very happy. I will leave you with a couple of laps if my OBS is still running. I've probably done the whole video without actually pressing record. Oh no, we have got recording on. So I'll just leave you with a few laps of this, which is one of the best cars in sim racing ever. Let's just put a few of these on again. Put a little bit of the road effects back in, because I think it was better with those on. Minimum damper, I think it was heavy enough. Okay, this thing I could drive all day long, which just goes to show, right, that I can change the brake bars too. Again, I don't know the game well enough to check what tyres were on here, but I'm assuming this is slicks, cold slicks at that. So then why are they able to do, yes, slicks, we can see it on the GUI there, on the UI, sorry, whatever they're called. Right, this is slicks, right, on that GT3, BMW GT3 I just drove, that's slicks. Why is it like this in this car? Like, seriously, one of the best cars ever, and so terrible on the Beamer. At least we can see it's not me. Brake a bit later just to see how the brakes. I think we can turn up the ABS effects in the menu, which I think is really great, and that's going to make a big difference. Oh, that's too late as well. This thing's just dancing around. It's just a complete opposite to most of the other cars we've just looked at. Oh, okay, again, don't look at my driving. Calm it down a bit. Okay, again, Bob the sound man needs to be fired, but this is just something else. Okay, can't get on the gas straight away in this. Driving is appalling. Just in the compressions at this track are so big, like there and into T1 here, whatever it's called, I should know. And the way this car just loads up on the, it's just amazing. It's exactly what it feels like. They're big. You can't really from the sim get the true scale of how big that drop off is in T1. And also in that coming back onto the main straight there at the end. And the way that it loads up in the compressions It's just amazing. They're just fantastic. Too much grip on Sabre. I've never driven these slicks this big, so. So yeah, if you've got AC EVO, spend your time driving this car. Whoa, snap there as well. It is absolutely I think this is, again, I don't know if it's real for this car, but find the car that this feels like, and this is one of the best cars ever in sim racing. And I've been playing them for way too many years. Good job I'm not on the real Brands Hatches. It would have been an expensive afternoon. There you go, for what it's worth, my crappy little review. If you enjoyed it, give me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe. Maybe a couple of subscribers would bring a smile to my face. See you.